Hello, my name is Angela, and I would like to welcome you to this Cincilingua membership lesson video. In this video, we are going to look at the present perfect continuous tense. So let's see how we use this tense. We use the present perfect continuous tense to describe an action that began in the past and continues up to the present. The action continues to be in progress. The present perfect continuous is formed with have or has, been, plus the present participle. Now, the present participle is the ing form of the verb, and we're going to look at that in just a few seconds. You will notice that the present perfect tense and the present perfect continuous tense are very similar in meaning. So let's look at these two examples. He has lived in Cincinnati for 24 years. So that's an example of present perfect because we have has lived. He has been living in Cincinnati for 24 years. This is an example of the present perfect continuous because has been living. We have has, we have been, and we have the ing, the present participle. So both tenses tell us the same thing in this example, that he has lived here for 24 years. Let's look at some more examples. She has been living in Cincinnati for 3 years. Has been living. We have been going to that restaurant since they opened. Have been going. John has been working for that company since 2014. Has been working. I have been watching TV since 9 o'clock this morning. Have been watching. I have been traveling to Tennessee once a year since I was 10 years old. Have been traveling. And here you can see a picture. This was this summer. I traveled to Tennessee again with my mother and my sister and my dog Shadow. So I have been traveling to Tennessee once a year since I was 10 years old. So let's look at a visual to make that very easy to understand. Okay, so if we talk about the day I was born, my birth, I think I look like an Eskimo baby. And here's my life. And we're having a conversation today. And we're talking about traveling to Tennessee. So I did not travel to Tennessee as a baby. The first time was when I was 10 years old. So I have been traveling to Tennessee once a year since I was 10 years old. So that's when it started. And I went to Tennessee. And then the next year, my family went to Tennessee, and the following year, I went to Tennessee, and each year, Tennessee, 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 Tennessee. Now, this chart is not long enough to put all the lines, but you have the idea. And if we look at this blue arrow, so starting when I was 10 years old, and it continued, it continued, it continued, it continued. And even today, it continues. Okay, this summer, I traveled to Tennessee. And I already have plans. I will travel to Tennessee again next year in April. So in the present perfect continuous, the action continues. It has not stopped. Let's look at the conjugation of the present perfect continuous tense. So you may remember I said that we're going to use have or has, the verb been, plus the present participle. So let's look at the bottom here first. Usually we just talk about the three parts of the verb: the present, the past, and the past participle. So in previous lessons, you have seen go, went, gone, live, lived, lived. The present participle is usually not put in the chart because for every verb, you're just adding the ing. There's no change. But I put it in this one so that you can see. So we're using have or has plus been plus this present participle, the ing form. So if we looked at an example of a regular verb, live, living, lived, lived. An irregular verb, eat, eating, ate, eaten. So now if we look up here, we see the conjugation for the present perfect continuous tense. I have been living, you have been living, he has been living, she has been living, it has been living, we have been living, you have been living, they have been living. So let's look at an example about me. And let's talk about the words for and since. The words for and since are used in the present perfect and present perfect continuous tenses to show when the action began. Now, it's not every sentence in these tenses that has for or since, but most do. And when we look at our other examples in this video, you will see a lot use for and since, but there are some that do not. Okay, I have eaten at the restaurant since it opened. So the first year it opened, I went to eat there and I continue to eat there. And even today, I continue to eat there. Or I could say, I have eaten at that restaurant for more than 20 years. So when we say since, we give the time in the past, since it opened. For is going to tell us how much time, for more than 20 years. And here's the restaurant, Golden Corral. It's a popular buffet restaurant. And here I am with my sister. This was on one of the vacations we went on, and we ate there. But we eat at this restaurant in Cincinnati and other cities. Okay, so let's look at other examples. We're going to pay attention to the sentences that use for and since, and then we're going to look closely at the sentences that do not use for or since. I have been working at Cincilingua for 32 years. Okay, we have for 32 years. So it tells us how much time I have been working at Cincilingua. Michael has been singing in the group for 4 years. Again, we have for 4 years, telling us how long he has been singing with this group. Otto has been living in Greece since he graduated from college. So here's an example where we have since he graduated from college. So that's the time in the past when he began living in Greece, and it continues even now. He has been waiting for the results of the election for over a week. Another example with for over a week. So that's when he started waiting. And it seems in the United States, we are waiting longer and longer for election results. Very different from in the past. NASA has been exploring space for many years. So we have for many years. Albert has been working in politics for 24 years. So we have for 24 years, he has been working in politics. Ruth has been playing softball since high school. So now she's an adult, but since high school, she started to play softball in high school, and she has continued, and she continues even today. China has been hosting the World Ping Pong Championship for many years. So China started doing this many years ago. So for many years, China has been hosting the World Ping Pong Championship. Sheldon has been eating matzo at Passover his entire life. Okay, now here is our first example where we do not have the words for or since. In this sentence, we have his entire life. So always, right? Emily has been speaking English since her childhood. So when she was a baby, she did not speak English. She did not speak any language. But since her childhood, when she started talking, she has been speaking English, and she continues to speak English today. Valerie has been studying the Vietnamese language for 2 months. So it means 2 months ago, she started studying Vietnamese. So that's why we say for 2 months. And we see her right now, she's still studying the language. Valerie has been studying the Vietnamese language for 2 months. Martha has been baking an upside-down pineapple cake for an hour. So she started baking an hour ago. So we have for an hour. Martha has been baking an upside-down pineapple cake for an hour. Tommy has been asking his parents for a puppy for a long time. Oh, it looks like the family is moving into a new home, and Tommy's taking this opportunity to ask his mom and dad, can we have a new puppy here in our new home? So the period of time that he has been asking for a puppy is for a long time. Barney has been driving a truck up and down the East Coast for 5 years. If I ask you, how long has Barney been driving a truck on the East Coast? Our answer would be for 5 years. David has been serving his community as a firefighter for 32 years. Again, we use for 32 years. So 32 years ago, he became a firefighter, and he has been serving his community as a firefighter since then. He's been doing that for 32 years. Linda has been sewing her own clothes since she was a teenager. So she started when she was a teenager, and she continues even today. We can see that she's older than a teenager now. So, since that time until now, and probably she will continue into the future. That family has been cooking out each evening since the first day of summer. Now, cooking out means to grill or to barbecue. And we can see in the picture that this man is cooking their food. So they started the first day of summer, and they have continued. So that family has been cooking out each evening since the first day of summer. We have been taking a course in anthropology since the fall quarter began. Okay, when did we start taking this course? Since the fall quarter began, and we continue today. So we have been taking a course in an anthropology class since the fall quarter began. The deficit has been decreasing gradually for about 3 years. So to decrease means to go down. When did this start? For about 3 years now. So 3 years ago it started and it has continued until now. The graduate has been paying his student loans for 8 years now. Yes, if you get a student loan to study at a university in the United States, it's a lot of money and it takes a long time to pay off. We see this man looking at the envelope. He's going to mail in his payment for this month. He will be so happy when he's finished. So 8 years ago, he started paying and he continues paying even now. The graduate has been paying his student loans for 8 years now. Paramount Kings Island has been advertising on the internet all year. And we see they have some special rates available on their website. Now, this is our second example where we are not using the word for or since. It just says all year. Remember, the other example said his entire life. So when we don't have a starting point, when it's the whole time, we don't have to use for or since. Kings Island is an amusement park here, and a lot of our students, when they're here during the season that it's open, they love to go there on the weekend. So in the summer, it's open every day. A lot of students go up there on the weekend. If you're going to study with us in person for a long time, you could buy a season pass and go several times while you're there. It's also open in the fall, just on the weekends. And they have some special Halloween events also in the fall. And then they reopen in the winter for Winterfest. So there's lots of opportunity to go to Kings Island if you come to Cincinnati. And I told you in a previous video, we do have total immersion in-person courses here in Cincinnati. It's called our Live and Learn program. We also teach private lessons online. And then we have this new Cincilingua membership program. So there are many ways to study with us, and we are happy to have you as one of our students. If you have any questions about our other programs, please send us an email at coordinator@cincilingua.com, and we will be happy to answer you. Let me say that I appreciate you taking this time to watch this lesson video. We're happy to have you as one of our members, and we hope that you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in one of the next videos. Have a great day. Bye-bye.